It's with our deepest regrets and most profound sorrow that we acknowledge the passing of Her Majesty, Queen Elizabeth II. May she rest in peace.
Ladies and gentlemen, please take your seats. The show is about to begin.
And hello and welcome to episode 147 of On the Bench, the podcast for scale modelers by scale modelers, all about scale models. And a huge shout out to all of our wonderful Patreon supporters who, without your help, well, we couldn't produce the show to the quality that we do. If you too would like to help support us, you can do so by going to www.patreon.com/onthebench and pledge any amount from $1 per month upwards. And hey, every Patreon supporter now gets an On The Bench sticker. And hello and welcome to the show. And in the studio, I've got Ian.
G'day, Dave. G'day, listeners.
No, Julian.
No. Poor young Julian's come up a bit sick.
He's got the lurgy.
He's got the loogie.
Yeah.
So he's just got to put up with Dave and myself today.
Like the old days, dude.
It is, yes.
Yeah, back in episode 1 to 10.
Yes, the old days.
Just you and I.
Yeah, that's it, mate. Very true.
So how you been?
Good.
What you been doing?
All right, let's see. I've been still plodding along on the Frott Thermal Laffley French World War I armoured roller. That's a mouthful and a half. The 135th scale kit from Vargas Scale Models.
Yep.
That's pretty much all. The kit's pretty much done now. Not much to it, it's just grey with a bit of weathering on it since it was just a prototype.
Yep.
They found out it was a complete failure. That thing was just no good in the mud.
Yeah.
And had some master box figures, World War I tankers. So I've painted up one of the World War I tankers to put with it, and the master box figures. Yeah, one way of putting it, they're a bit chunky.
Okay.
They just don't have the refinements you do get with the resin figures. But
Right.
yeah, trying to find World War I tanker figures.
No, it's pretty hard.
It's pretty hard. Well, actually, World War I figures in resin there's not
Especially
much
French
out there.
tankers would be pretty hard to find.
Yeah, there's not much out there. Not that I could find. Listeners might know of more, but so the base is pretty much made. I've cut it to shape and oiled it and put the felt at the bottom of it and ready to start doing the groundwork. Did a few base colours on my what is it? Let me think. Andrea Miniatures Predator figure.
Yep.
Which is going really well until I was putting one of his big mandible teeth on and had it in the tweezers and it went ping. And
I know.
So, yeah, I've got to scratch build this micro scale little tooth thing for him now.
Oh, you couldn't find it?
Nah, it's long gone.
Yeah.
It could have landed anywhere.
Yeah,
I spent a good hour and a half just with a torch searching everywhere and nowhere.
Even that rubber mat stuck, you put rubber mat all down on you.
Yeah, I'll put rubber mat down everywhere, but I think it may have bypassed the mat. Look, guaranteed as soon as I finish building it, it's going to pop up somewhere.
Of course.
But today, once we finish recording, I'm heading straight back home and making a start on the Moosaroo 4 build.
Tell us about the Moosaroo 4. What's in store for that?
Well, basically, the Moosaroo 4 is, I think there's about 7 of us now.
Yeah.
7 podcasts, I think.
Yep.
And, we all got given the same kit, which was the Armour Hobbies 72nd scale P51B/C.
And thank you to IPMS Hamilton for once again sponsoring the build.
Oh, they do a great job. Just having a look at the sprues, it is just an amazing. It's like they've shrunk a 48 scale or a 32nd scale kit. It's just amazing, the detail inside there. So we done I'm doing it as like a build alongside with Will from Sprue Cutters Union.
So you guys going to build it together as a buddy build?
Yeah, like
almost?
a buddy build, yeah. There's a few of us who we've put our own little chat group together on Facebook, and we'll be posting photos and egging each other on and sledging each other. And
so you're going to make it public? Is it going to be a public thing where
I'm
you
not
guys
too sure.
sort of share videos as to what you're doing and all that?
Well, it's early days. I'm just starting now. I'm about to start it now. So today's thingo is basically seeing how much of the cockpit I can get done. Once I figure out which version I'm going to build.
I reckon if you and Will sort of got together and did a video and sort of published it or posted it, you guys just, or even a live stream on Facebook or something like that.
Yeah, something worth thinking of.
Something for people to sort of just tune into and listen to you two yabber to each other.
Yeah, something that we can have a chat about. We've got a few non-Moosaroo builders involved.
Oh, okay.
We've got Sam Dwyer.
Yeah,
he's building one at the moment. He's starting his today as well. So I think Will, myself, and Sam are jumping out of the blocks today and making a good start. I really want to do the Australian one, but the only problem with the Australian ones is we had block pattern tyres.
Right.
Whereas the kit comes with diamond pattern tyres.
Yep.
And the rules are we're not allowed to change anything.
Okay. So you can't buy the
I can't buy
block pattern tyre.
Look, you're probably able to get them.
Yep.
I don't
but it'll disqualify you.
But it would just be disqualified.
Well, you can still build the Aussie one with the diamond pattern, and because it came with a kit, it is what it is.
Well, I got a photo in one of my books of Aussie P51C.
Yep.
And it's snowing where they were, and you can't really see anything of the tyre patterns because it's just covered in snow and mud.
Because they were in Italy, weren't they?
Yeah,
during the war.
Yeah. So that's going quite well. Bought a couple of new kits for myself. What I get? Got the Altamira 135th scale Chevrolet 30 quart truck from the Long Range Desert Group.
Nice.
And I bought myself a Tacom late model of the Saint Chamond.
Nice one.
Yes, which was another vast failure of a tank.
Yeah, I've built that model and it's gorgeous.
Yeah, I look at that thing and I think that would have been no good around rough terrain because the tracks are just too.
Yeah,
the tracks don't go all the way through the body. It's just you got so much nose overhang and so much rear end overhang that they've actually had to put rollers underneath them.
Yeah.
Just so they wouldn't give them a bit of a chance to not get nosed into a hole and get stuck.
I had some issues with my build with the track alignment not being 100%. And I'll show you the model after we finish the show so you can have a look and not fall in the same trap.
Yep.
I don't know how you're not. I don't know. Maybe it's just me. Maybe it's just being dumb when I put mine together. Who knows?
Who knows? Yeah. I'll come across that when I finally get around to building it. I've got that many kits in the stash. I don't think I'll ever build all of them, but I hope to. Spent about, I think, $70-80 on paintbrushes this week as well. So updated all my paintbrushes. Bought a really nice set from our good friends at SMS.
Yep.
Their detail set, I think it's about 9 brushes. It's some really nice looking brushes. And what else? I got a dedicated dry brush, which I
I've heard about
existed.
this, and I was a bit sceptical when I saw it. It's from what, Ammo, isn't it?
Yeah, I think it might be Ammo. Yeah.
And I thought, why would you? So, but you've actually purchased it. Have you got it in your hand yet or not?
I've got it in my hands. I haven't used it yet.
So what do you think of it?
It looks quite nice. It's like I don't know, one of those women that use their foundation or whatever they put their makeup on.
Right.
And it's like one of those, but a lot smaller and shorter bristles.
Okay.
So I'm going to give it a go. To me, looking at it, I thought, this could very well work well, but, the proof is in the pudding, as they say.
I'm curious as to how it would work any better than what we normally do when we use, like our old brushes don't get chucked out. They go on to become a dry brush paint.
No, my
dry
old
brush
brushes become mud brushes.
Oh, do they really?
Yeah.
Oh,
once the bristles all fan out and become crappy, they're great for applying mud splatters and all that sort of gear. Dry brushing, I used to always just use a flat brush.
I find the ones with the really hard bristles best too for for doing.
Oh, hard brushes are good for chipping if you're using chipping fluids.
Yeah. But I find them quite good for dry brushing for some reason. I don't know why.
Well, I used to have this perfect dry brush, and I used it that often. I wore it down to a nut. So, and I could never find that type of brush ever again for some reason.
It's always a way, isn't it?
Yeah. So, what else did I purchase? Oh, a ton of jungle foliage.
Yeah.
I went bananas. Just bought like 5 or 6 packets of each type, and
Oh my god.
a couple of boxes of Pacific War Marines and Army figures, US Army figures.
Is this for a dire army you're doing?
Just stuff that I can use for future projects.
So just sitting up there, and all you need to do is reach up and grab it.
Reach up and grab it. Like if I'm doing something, like I've got so much, I'm collecting so much Pacific War armour at the moment that I want to have some figures to go with them.
Yeah.
Because I think I've mentioned before, whenever I build an armour kit, I always have to have a figure with it.
Yep.
Just to give it a bit of scale. And so, so I bought a heap of them. Bought some resin 3D printed rivets.
Whoa, very nice.
Dome rivets.
Very nice.
Which are going to come in quite handy when I do my Holt steam tank.
Yes.
Because unfortunately the 3D printing on that is short in one corner of the top section, which means I'm going to have to build it up with plastic card, get rid of the rivets on the top, and then place new rivets on there.
Yeah.
Which is a bit of a shame, but hit and miss sometimes with kits. What else? I think that might be about it, really, that I've purchased money on.
There you go.
What about you, Dave?
I've been very, very quiet, actually. I've just about finished. Well, I have finished my rocket. Just needs a 2 coats, one of gloss and one of semi-gloss, and that's done. And it's just sitting there. My build room looks like a bomb's gone off in it. It's
yes, I know the feeling.
to pinch a term from our friends over at the Mojo, it's reached critical mess.
Critical mess.
And I need to get in there and clean it so I've got a sort of fresh start.
Yeah.
The trouble is I've also got a couple of little other projects I sort of started up as well. So everything's all sort of spread out. It just looks like a bomb's gone off in there, and it's just really annoying the heck out of me. So
yeah, I know. It's like I've got 3 projects on the go at the moment, and after today I'm going to have 4.
Yeah.
Which for me is unusual because I usually like just doing one at a time.
Yeah. So I've got to get in there and clean it up, and it's just drive. And this is the thing. Like I'll make a great big clean bench, and I'll have this huge bench to work on. And as I'm building on it, the working area shrinks and shrinks and shrinks and shrinks until I'm down to about a postage stamp. That's all I've got left to sort of work on. It just drives me nuts. I don't know how I do it every time. I try and avoid it, but it doesn't happen.
Yep, I know exactly the feeling.
Models, I haven't bought anything since we were in Omaha. But having said that...
you did buy something in Omaha, you got?
Yeah, from Vargas Models, Vargas Scale Models, my Liberty International Mark 8 heavy tank 1917 arrived. And, oh my Lord, it is just beautiful. The print quality on it is just absolutely sensational. So, there's only about 1, 2, 3, 4, 8, well, probably 20 parts to it.
Yeah, there's not many bits to those kits.
No, but, the print quality is absolutely gorgeous, and I'm really looking forward to sort of getting into this, but I've got so much else on at the moment that I daren't start another thing until I've got through some of the other stuff. So, yeah.
Have you made a paint choice for your tank yet?
Which tank?
A sci-fi tank.
No, I haven't. Because I lent that Bob Voss. No, is it Bob Voss?
No.
What's the name of the book I got over you?
Chris Voss?
Chris Voss. Chris Voss.
Voss, yes.
Chris Voss. So
sci-fi book.
Yeah, I borrowed that book off you to get some inspiration for... Cause I've got a couple of sci-fi subjects that are... and it's funny because we're going to be talking about shelf queens later on in the show. So I've got a couple of shelf queens sitting there, only because I don't know what sort of finish to do them in. And so I borrowed this book off you, and the inspiration in that book.
The problem is there's just too much inspiration.
Now I'm sort of spoilt for choice. So I've gone to the other extreme now. I've got too many ones to choose from rather than that.
Well, some of the stuff in there would be just so great if you were into scratch building science fiction spaceships. Like one of my all-time favourites was the painting he called the Stellar Cow.
Yes.
And it's like a big blue spaceship that looks like it's got a cow's head on it. And it just absolutely I love it.
Such a talented artist.
Oh, yeah.
Totally. I didn't realise he did quite a few books for, pictures or cover art for books that I've read in the past. Like, I can't think. The name of the book is called The Shepherd, and it's about an RAF pilot who is flying at night and he becomes lost. And I think he's flying like a vampire or something like that. Mm-hmm. And another aircraft comes along and guides him down, which is a Mosquito. And short end of the story. The story is it's a ghost ship that comes along and guides him back down to Earth. It's a short story by...
like that famous airfield.
Frederick Forsyth, I want to say.
Yeah, like that famous airfield I think it's in Scotland.
Yeah.
There's a guy in either a Tiger Moth or an Avro 504 who occasionally guides aircraft in.
No kidding.
Been dead since middle of World War One.
Wow. World War Two. World War One.
World War One.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
So, and I lost where I was. So Foster done so many sort of covers for books that I just didn't, oh, wow, now.
Yeah, I'm the same. We're going through that when I first purchased that book. I just started going through, hang on, go to my bookshelf and, look, I've got the novel.
Incredible artist. Absolutely incredible artist. All right, well, we have got a ton, and I mean an absolute ton of emails that have come in. So our little mailbag is busting at the seams. So we might have a quick word from our sponsor, SMS, and then I think we'll dive into the mailbag. So we'll be back very shortly. The Scale Model Supply. Certified Australian made, the Scale Model Supply has a comprehensive range of premium acrylic lacquer paints that have been specifically developed to cater to the scale modeller. Designed to use straight from the bottle, SMS paints have taken all the guesswork out of airbrushing. Simply shake, pour and spray for a fast drying and extremely durable result. But wait, there's more. SMS have just released the new water-based range, Infinite Colour. It is the ideal paint for anyone who is into miniature painting. And with 48 colours that can be mixed to create any colour you want, the possibilities are, well, infinite. The ever-growing range of SMS paints will suit all types of model builders, be it military, aircraft, train, car, science fiction, or even Gunpla. SMS paints will have a colour to suit you. Available now through selected stockists worldwide and online at www.scalemodeller.com.au. Okay, we're back with some listener mail. As I said, there's been quite a bit of listener mail that's come in. Geez, I don't even know where to start. There's been that many. Oh, here we go. So, Mike Clags writes in German, if you get a G and an N together, you pronounce one after the other. So basically you get a consonant and you pronounce it. So there you go. That's from Mike Clags in Guelph, Canada, showing that I was right in the pronunciation of the German
ship, Gneisenau.
Gneisenau.
Gneisenau. I always pronounce it Gneisenau.
Yeah, no, that's Gneisenau.
Well, there you go.
So there you go. I've got something right.
Okay. I've learnt something new.
So thanks, Mike, for proving me right. That's awesome. Oh, geez, we've got so much stuff in about the Celica. Stephen Schaefer writes in, if we can tolerate your pronunciation of decals, you can admit that we have the proper pronunciation of Celica. Love you guys. Take care. Steve Schaefer from Minnesota, USA.
Yeah, we just like hanging on Julian.
Well, then we got Dave Waples wrote in, and he actually sent me a YouTube about the pronunciation of Celica. And apparently it's in the US, it's Celica, obviously. In Canada, it's Celica. Australia, it's Celica. Other countries, it's Celica. It all comes down to the marketing department of the particular country. So
right.
There was no true right or wrong, but Dave, thanks for I got quite a chuckle out of that YouTube video, so it was rather cool.
I always found it funny here in Australia. Mitsubishi bought out the when they bought out this sports car in the mid or early 80s called the Starion.
Yes.
Which was a total mispronunciation of the word stallion.
Jim Bates writes in, regarding the last episode, I heard you were going to hire Kentucky Dave to sue the new Australian model show. It's actually an American model show. I'm sorry to report that I've already been retained by PBS to sue you for copyright infringement, because apparently there was a show in the late 80s, early 90s done by a West Virginian public broadcasting service called Adventures in Scale Modelling. A friend's daughter actually appeared in it, and my client does not bear any ill will against you, but I took the case simply to mess with Kentucky Dave. Jim Bates. Oh, there you go. The lawyers are now at each other's throats.
That's it.
Let's just sit back and watch the fun. Thanks for that, Jim. It's very amusing. Andrew Taylor writes in, on the benches, to say it was great meeting you all in Omaha would be an understatement. I had the honour of eating dinner Tuesday night at the Drover with the Plastic Posse podcast and found myself sitting next to a fantastic Aussie. As we talked over steak, he was showing me fantastic models on his phone, including an amazing Australian M1A1 Abrams tank. Towards the end of the meal, I told him that I grew up in Australia, and he actually knew where I was talking about. Afterwards, I found out that I was eating and talking models with the Sam Dwyer. He was so unassuming gracious. The following night is when I met all three of you for dinner with a Triple P at the Liquid Sunshine Tap Room. That was a great night.
That was a good night. That was a great night.
It was great to be surrounded by Aussie accents again, and this time I knew who the Sam Dwyer was. When I introduced myself, and I used to live in Bacchus Marsh, all three of you exactly knew where I was talking about, although most people have blank looks when I tell them that it's near Ballarat and then Melbourne. Yes. As you eloquently called it, the Marsh.
Or back of arse.
Or back of arse is another one. Funny story is that when I was very young, the first time I saw a BMW shop was in that city, and I thought it stood for Bacchus Marsh Wheels. Thanks for the great podcast, and it took me back 40 years when I heard about you guys talking about the Dandenongs and other parts of Melbourne. Looking forward to seeing Ian again in San Marcos, and hopefully get OTB banged together for Nats in Madison. And yes, apparently cheese curds are amazing, says Andy Taylor.
Thank you, Andy.
We
had some great times.
Yeah.
Something you don't forget in a while.
So you're planning to well underway for San Marcos?
Not yet. I've been so busy with work lately. It's just a matter of I totally missed out on getting a room at the convention centre because I got me times mixed up, and by the time I got on, they were all sold out. Apparently, they all sold the rooms out in about 15, 20 minutes. They were all gone.
Yeah, well, it's funny. It's not just you. I mean, I was listening to D-Ran and the boys over at the Geeks, and they missed out. It was all sold in 15 minutes. Yeah. So it's all gone.
Yeah. So apparently it's not a bigger place as Omaha.
Yeah. But there's plenty of other ones just around the corner.
Well, I was chatting to Will about it, and he said, look, there's plenty of stuff around anyway, so there's no dramas.
Cool. You're thinking about going with a couple of mates?
Well, I'm still trying to get hold of them.
Oh, okay.
And I've got to get confirmations from them so I can book.
Yeah, you got a long time yet.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then we can work out airfares and so forth, and getting around.
Be a fun trip, man.
Oh, yeah, definitely.
That'll be a fun trip. Brad Belsham has been writing in, a good mate of ours, and he's been sending some wonderful pictures of a British Challenger tank that he's been building.
It does look very nice, doesn't it?
Yeah. And again, he's saying enjoying the podcast and thanks for a great show. You know what? He's quite a competent builder, actually.
He's a very good builder. Yeah, I just love the canvas effects around the skirts. Looks amazing.
We need to get him onto the show and have a bit of a chat with him, don't we?
Yeah.
Oh, jeez. Next one is from Raphael Shelton, and he writes, Dave, Ian and Julian. On a recent episode of Small Subjects, Barry explained the term shelf queen to Jim, and in a typical punk rock fashion, Barry fashion, he made it very clear that he thinks there's nothing wrong with shelf queens. I thought it might make for a good discussion topic for you three. And in fact, we have decided to actually take that up. So we're going to be
have
having a talk about shelf queens later on.
How long
in the show.
we keep them on before we toss them? Are we embarrassed about it?
Absolutely. So that's Raphael Shelton, who is Oak Ridge, Tennessee.
Yeah.
I believe I might have actually driven through Oak Ridge in Tennessee.
Oh, there you go.
I'm sure of it. Oh, that'd be pretty cool. Aidan writes in, Aidan O'Donnell. Hi guys, just a quick note to let you know how much I've enjoyed the last few episodes. I found the one on Wheels and Tracks particularly useful, and your trip to the US left me more than a little jealous. On another note, I do have a few 148 scale kits of World War I aircraft in the stash, and would be grateful if you could see your way clear to doing a segment on methods for rigging them. Best regards, Aidan O'Donnell. P.S. The reason that Irish names appear to have such weird spellings is because the Irish alphabet only had 17 letters.
Oh.
There was no J, K, Q, V, X, and so on. Combinations of letters such as M and D and B change their sound depending on where they appear in the word, and it takes some getting used to. Well, there you go.
Yeah.
Bit of a little English lesson or a language lesson.
But, you know, I think rigging, have a chat about rigging in one of the upcoming episodes is a really good idea.
I think we do. I think we need to, because we have spoken about ship rigging in the past, and there's quite some crossovers between that and aircraft
definitely.
rigging. So
definitely.
yeah, okay.
We'll keep that one going, Aidan.
We'll lock that one away and have a look. David Stokes just writes in, just saying that the South Australian Scale Model Expo is on October the 8th and 9th. And we are planning to actually go to that, but next year.
Yes. Yeah, because this year's Canberra.
Yes.
Next year's South Australia.
Next year's South Australia. So, Jamie, who is the president over there, can't wait to catch up with you again, mate.
Yeah, definitely.
And
he's a great fella.
We had him on the show when we were at Model Expo.
Correct, yeah, he's a great fella.
And really looking forward to that. So, South Australian Expo, October 8th and 9th, which is
if you're in the area, be there.
Absolutely. Just go to your website and just put in SAPMA and or just write South Australia Model, South Australia Expo, and that should bring up the site and the link. I should have had it in front of me. So, jeez. Oh, gosh. I think that is about it. The only other interesting thing I've got to mention is that I've got an email from IPMS
you weren't the only
USA,
one. I got one the other day too.
And to say this hasn't caused a bit of a stir on the social media is a bit of an understatement. So basically, anybody who is a member of IPMS USA, there was an email that came out, or a letter, I guess so, that came out saying that a discussion paper has been submitted to the executive by Dana Maths. Excuse me if I butcher that name. And the paper is discusses the current IPMS USA national contest judging practices and the criteria on which they are based. So that is now perhaps being looked at, and I'm no expert on this. I'll defer to other people who know more. But look at submitting it as a proposal to amendment to the Constitution and bylaws. But it was just interesting that the amount of discussion, both heated and unheated, that sort of popped up on a lot of their social media sort of channels discussing it. And, you know, change is good. It doesn't hurt.
No, it doesn't hurt. And to me, sending letters like that out is a good thing.
Oh, I applaud IPMS USA for doing that and sort of bringing it up and in the way they're handling it.
Yeah.
I guess the only comment I've got is that, you know, when you're having these discussions online, people don't
take it personally
and don't drop down to the personal level. Just, you know, argue and discuss the subject. We got a saying here in Australia: you play the ball, not the man.
Yep.
So what we mean by that is, you know, talk about the subject.
Yeah, don't get personal.
Don't get personal or make it personal.
Yeah. And if you don't agree with someone, well, stiff.
Yeah,
Everyone's allowed to. We're all allowed to have our opinions.
Oh, 100%.
There's a lot of things Dave and I don't agree on, but doesn't change anything.
That's true too.
It's just the way it is.
Yeah, that's spice of life.
Yeah.
Yeah, 100%.
But then again, you get trolls everywhere.
Yeah, but it's just, you know.
And so you get, look, there's some people they're just born nasty, I presume. Like I know our good friends that
I guess what upsets me, you know, so when people make statements and they don't support their statements, and then because they can't support their position, then they then personally attack the people who have got contra view. You know, just keep it cool, guys. Keep it polite, and as we said, play the ball, not the man.
Yeah, I think, I think something recently happened with our good friends at Spree Cutters Union where they copped a really nasty email from a listener. And look, the guys handled it perfectly. They absolutely handled it perfectly, considering what was said. And it got it was low. It was something you'd expect like one of those high school mean girls to come out with. But full credit to the boys. They handled it so well, and yeah, it's just there's no reason for that.
Well,
and I think it might have been Will or one of the guys said, look, when it all comes down to it, we build frickin' scale plastic bottles.
I know. Yeah.
We're not changing the way the world runs.
No. Yeah.
So don't have such a high opinion of yourself. And just get along. And see if you don't agree with someone, don't agree with someone. Just move on.
Yep.
Simple.
All right, play nice, guys.
Yeah.
Okay, well, that's it for our mailbag. Of course, if you want to write to us, you can do so by sending us an email to onthebench64@gmail.com. Before we do go, I think I got another message somewhere else.
Okay. What, pigeon?
Oh, yeah, it came through Messenger. And, sorry, it was Scott Hall.
Good old Scotty.
Yeah. And he said he just sent me a message, or sent us a message saying, I know that you have all received all sorts of positives from Omaha. Meeting you and Ian was the best experience for me. I'm disappointed I didn't get to meet Julian, as I think his demeanour is very similar to mine. That being said, I'm the goofball that confused you and Ian upon the first meeting. That was so funny. I gobble up your podcast and every release and keep doing what you're doing, mate. Sincerely, that is Scott Hall from Denver, Colorado.
Yeah, Scott is a great bloke. He and I got along quite well. Fantastic human being.
Yes, I love hearing from you. So, as I said, on the bench 64@gmail.com. And let's have another quick ad break to hear from What's Inside the Armour back shortly.
Hey guys, it's Chris here talking about Inside the Armour publications. Great news. Volume 2 of Models for Ukraine is out for pre-order now. The first book raised over £19,000 for the Disasters Emergency Committee Ukraine Appeal. And we hope this book will raise more than $22,000 to add to that total. The book features a number of fantastic artists, including Alex Clark, Calvin Tan, Emilien Diablo, Vance Lubin, Felipe Costa Ramirez, Harvey Lowe, Ian Barraclough, Jean-Bernard Andre, John Colasante, Jose Brito, Katerina Derbalova, Paolo Portuese, Rene van der Hart, Robert Blocker, Sam Dwyer, and many more. If you'd like to pre-order the book, I suggest you do it as soon as possible because it's already selling very fast. Just go to InsideTheArmour.com where you can pre-order your book and where you can also order any of our fantastic publications on paper or in ebook format.
Okay, and we're back with some news from the Falcon.
Yeah.
And Falcon writes in, hi Dave and Julian, how's everyone going? Well, Julian's sick and dying.
Yeah, we're doing all right.
Apart from that, we're doing fine. Aircraft news. ICM have further expanding their range of 48 scale Junkers Ju-88 kits with the Ju-88A-8 with Paravane device for cutting barrage balloon cables.
Ooh.
The Paravane is a span-wise blade projecting forward of the aircraft supported on frail-looking booms. Would be a challenge to mould in styrene, but I'm sure ICM are more than up to the task. That would be a tough one to build.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, by the way, ICM's long-awaited 48 scale Beaufort Mark 1 is now available. I imagine queues are already forming at model shops all over the UK.
Oh, yeah, so they would be. That's a nice-looking kit.
It is. It's just a pity that it's not in the Aussie variant.
Yeah.
Although, hope lives that ICM may come out and do it.
Or one of our local manufacturers.
Aftermarket, yeah.
Do some aftermarket so you can do an Aussie one.
Yeah,
that's the only thing really missing from my RWF that I really want to get my hands on.
Border models are really forging ahead with their whole 135th scale aircraft thing. They recently teased sprue pics of what is clearly a Focke-Wulf FW190AF.
Yep, A to F, yep.
Their 135th scale ME109 and Stuka kits look pretty nice, and I wonder if people are actually buying them.
Because it's an unusual scale.
Yeah, it is. Minibar have been showing photos of progress on their upcoming 148 scale F-16 Fighting Falcon. People are saying that the parts are specific to the
ROCAF.
Yeah, what's that one? Oh, Taiwanese. Taiwanese ones. Apparently Taiwanese modelers are helping with the research. Ever since I was frightened by one as a child, I have the hatred of resin kits. I try and avoid even mentioning them, says the Falcon. However, very, very occasionally, you come across one that sounds kind of interesting. Lem Kits, that's spelled L-E-M, have just announced a 132nd scale Kawasaki Ki-32 Mary. You would likely never see such an obscure Japanese aircraft kitted in injected plastic in that scale, so I guess we can give this one a pass. Okay. Although it pains me to say, I suppose a resin kit is better than no kit at all.
That is it, true.
100%. Hobby 2000, the Poland-based Repop Kings have announced their next 3 releases, all in 172nd scale. The ex-Hasegawa Martin B26B/C Marauder, the ex-Hasegawa Douglas A1-H/J Sky Raider, and the ex-Dragon Dornier 335. The decal options are different to the original releases. The Hasegawa B26 is now quite hard to find and fetches very high prices on the second-hand market. So Marauder fans will be very happy to see that this one is available once again.
Yeah, because it wasn't a bad kit when the old Hasegawa one was a nice kit.
You may remember that Dora Wings are working on a 148 scale Republic P47B/C. Dora have just revealed the 4 marking options. There are going to be 3 USAAF and 1 Brazilian Air Force.
Oh, I like the Brazilian ones.
All are olive drab over neutral grey, and Dora gives no descriptions, so we can't be sure, but I think that all the USAAF options are for aircraft that are based in the US. Infinity models 32nd scale Val and Kate are making progress. Infinity recently showed pics of the clear canopies sitting in place on their respective fuselages. No doubt about it, they looked very clear.
Nice.
HK models have previewed the box art and marking options for their upcoming 148 scale B25. It's been getting a lot of talk on social media about that.
Definitely, yeah.
Text on the box calls out the B25J glazed nose, so perhaps we can expect a non-glazed version down the track. Only 2 decal options. One is an olive drab over neutral grey machine operating out of Toclaban in Leyte in 1945. And the second option depicts a natural metal finish aircraft in Naples, Italy in 1945. Takem have announced 2 135th scale kits of the Apache attack helicopter, an Apache and an Apache Longbow. It's really super interesting, that. I just saw that sort of pop up on my feed.
Just a day or so ago.
So I reckon it's really, really cool.
Great for the diorama, guys.
Yeah, but 35th scale or 48?
35th.
35th is probably better for...
The dioramas, yeah. Because then you can start using all your modern infantry and...
Oh, that's a point too.
And armour on it.
Meng models have shown box art for their new 48 scale kit of the McDonnell Douglas F4G Phantom 2 Wild Weasel.
The best one of the lot.
They got some big shoes to fill with the Tamiya one. A renowned Canadian modeler is said to be working on an all-new 148 scale tooling of the Canadian CT 144 Tudor.
No, 114.
Oh, my God.
Yeah.
God damn it. Let me say that again. A 148 scale tooling of the Canadair CT 114 Tudor.
Yes.
The kit is planned as a multimedia affair with injected plastic, 3D printed resin and photo etch parts. Decals will be printed by a renowned international company. We have seen early CAD renders and they look very promising. It is way too early to talk release dates, but hopefully the kit will see the light of day before the end of 2024. Qatari models have announced or have released instructions for their upcoming 32nd scale Spitfire Mark 1.
Yes, they have. Wow.
If you want to know what they look like, just imagine what Wingnut Wings did with World War II aircraft. There are 3 marking options provided. Shockingly, all of them are Royal Air Force and all Battle of Britain period. We also know now how much the kit will cost, and apparently it's going to be $109 US.
It's pretty reasonable for what you're getting.
That's not bad at all.
And going off the instructions, it's going to be a joy to build.
Well, if it's anything like what the Phoenix arose from.
Yeah, well,
Yes.
you look at the instructions, and it's basically you're just looking at instructions for a Wingnut Wings kit.
I've got to say, I'm terribly excited about this because,
Well, I've got one on order.
well, not so much the Spitfire, but I'm excited for what future releases this company will do moving forward.
Well, the rumour is the next one's going to be another RAF subject.
Okay.
So,
Well,
fingers crossed, might be a Hurricane.
Hurricane.
That'd be nice. Trying to think of a decent 32nd scale Hurricane that's on the market.
Just trying to think of what else they could sort of branch out to do. But, the world's their oyster.
It is.
Well, we're over in New Zealand next year anyway, so maybe we can have a one-on-one chat with...
Mr. Alexander.
and also some of the other guys who are involved with
Yeah,
Qatari
if
models.
they're all there, yeah, definitely.
So it should be cool. Moving on to car news. There are 2 new car segments in a row. Will wonders never cease? DDA Collectibles have announced a 1/24th scale plastic kit of the custom Holden HG Sandman panel van from the Road Warrior, or otherwise known as Mad Max.
That's his personal car.
And if anybody who builds cars has no understanding of what a Holden HJ Sandman panel wagon is,
Panel van, yeah.
yes, you've got to have a look at these cars because they are gorgeous. They were iconic Australian cars when we were growing up.
Oh, they
weren't
were, yeah, the panel vans.
Yeah, 100%. Apparently the kit will cost $70 and should be available in the first quarter of 2023. No news yet as to whether it will come with a 7th hand.
Ah, yes. Gondolini wants his hand back.
But wait, there's more. DDA are also releasing a 1/24th scale plastic kit of the 4-door HQ Holden, available in 3 versions: the Kingswood, the GTS, and the Slammed.
Slammed. Yep.
The bonnet or hood is openable, so you'll be able to view the engine, and available sometime in the 4th quarter of 2022. So Australian car dudes must be going absolutely nuts over this.
Yeah, I just can't wait till they start doing some Fords and Chryslers.
Well, the HQ Holden was the premier sort of flagship car.
Yeah. I would like to see him do maybe a Holden Monaro.
Yeah.
2-door Monaro.
Or a Statesman as well. Statesman would be nice.
Yeah, Statesman's, yeah. I think that'd probably...
Oh, man.
The Monaros would sell like hotcakes.
Yes.
Especially if they branched out and started doing like XB GTs, XA GTs.
Yeah.
Chargers, E49s, E55 Chargers. Because, there are no many kits available for Australian muscle cars.
No. It's just such exciting
And we
news.
have some really cool muscle cars.
Yeah, we do. We do indeed. Moving on to naval news. Hobby Boss will release a 1/350 scale USS Gatto SS-212 submarine, 1944 version.
Nice.
Trumpeter will be releasing a 1/700 scale kit of the USS Hawaii CB-3 battlecruiser. Apparently never completed, but that doesn't stop you from getting one. And exciting news to me, Taken will be releasing 350 scale kits of the Italian Horizon class destroyer. Two vessels were mentioned, the D553
Andrea Dora.
and the
Doria.
D554.
Charles Julia.
Yeah, there you go. Your Italian's better than my French.
Meh. Too modern for me.
No, I love the modern kits.
Boxes on hulls.
That looks sexy. Military vehicle news. Das Werk have announced a 135th scale kit of the German World War II SD KFZ 251/7 half-track. Kit will be built as a standard 251/7 or armed with a 2.8 centimetre Panzerbusch. There are 4 marking options: single-link tracks, photo etch parts, and detachable bridging elements. As usual, Das Works are being a bit coy about the origins of the kit, but we can be sure that it's a Dragon Models kit. Should be available in October 2022. Vespid Models have announced a new 72nd scale Panther variant. It's a Flak Panzer 341
Colian.
3.7
Flak Veerling. UG Panther G Fargstel.
Or
I think that's right.
Or is it? According to Keen-Eyed Forumites, what it actually is a Flak Panzer Gerat 345 3.7 centimetre Flak Zingwing.
Flax Willing.
Oh, Panzer G. The Colian had a different turret, and of course, as a twin barrel mounting, it's a Zwilling, not a Verling.
Yes. So 2, not 4.
Oh, God. That out of the way, people are saying it looks accurate for what it actually is. As with previous Vespid releases, you get the full package. Length tracks, photo etch fret, and twin turned barrels. There are 2 marking options, one standard green and a red-brown mottle over dark yellow, and another sporting beautiful white winter camouflage. Trumpeter's September armour release is a 172nd scale MAZ 537G intermediate type truck with a semi-trailer. It was pleasing to see some news from Mini-Art this week. Their first new release for months, Mini-Art have announced a 135th scale set of civilian drivers. The box art would suggest the figures are intended for the series of the Lance Bulldog tractors released by Mini-Art not so long ago. They followed that up with a 35th scale T-34-85 from the Yugoslavian period, or the Yugoslavian wars. There are 5 different marking options, all 1990s. 2 are going to be for the Yugoslav People's Army, 1 for the Republic of Croatian Armed Forces, 1 for the Army of the self-proclaimed State of Serbia, and 1 for the Army of the Republic of Bosnia-Herzegovina. The kit comes with fully detailed driver's compartment, fighting compartment, and turret. However, there is no engine or transmission provided with the boxing. Now I see that Mini-Art have announced an even more 135th scale kits scheduled for release in September. There's a Stug 3 OS FG and a... Well, God, what's that one?
Stuh. STUH. 42 OS G.
What are they? What's that
Not
one?
too sure.
Oh, I
Be
don't know.
a different version of the Stug, I presume.
Perhaps. Also, gardening tools, a cargo trailer, a Tempo E400 3-wheel truck, road signs, and 2 figure sets. Mini-Art are back, baby.
Good to see.
Hobby Boss will be releasing a People's Liberation Army Type 59 2 medium tank in 35th scale. And Dragon Models will be re-releasing their 55th scale Jag Panzer 4, the L70V command version. The kit comes with bonus aluminium barrel, a single link magic tracks, I should say. Thankfully, no DS tracks in sight. If I'm not mistaken, this particular version of the Jag Panzer 4 was previously only available as a white boxing from Cyber Hobby. That's all from now from the Falcon.
Yeah, some interesting kits coming up, Dave.
Very much. You got any news yourself?
Well, I did have, but then
The Falcon style.
Falcon dove in. So, yeah, because a couple of days or a day or so ago, I was actually yesterday, last night.
Yeah.
One of our listeners, the fantastic Mr. Ian Bonner, put down a link to the Qatare site, which has got all the CAD renderings and the...
Well, Ian's a Kiwi himself, isn't he?
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
And the instructions for the new Spitfire. And, yeah, I've got to say, it's just... I'm so glad I've got mine on order already, so I don't have to... As soon as they come into... Because I know the local hobby shop's ordering, I think, about 10.
Is that all?
Yep.
Just ordering 10?
Yep.
Just thought I'd ordered a lot
So
more than
if
that.
you want one, put your name down.
Yeah.
So it's a new release, and I see that point. They don't like diving too deep in case they put too much money into something and it sits on the shelf for 10 years.
Yeah. But, you know, something like this is just going to fly off the shelf.
Well, you got to also realise, Dave, that a lot of people that go into hobby shops nowadays, you get your small amount of diehards like us,
Yep.
but the rest of the people, they go in there and they just buy a model kit. You think the average Joe who builds maybe one or two kits a year, who's not really serious like us,
Yep.
modeler, will they're not going to go out and spend $150 on a Spitfire.
Yeah.
They're going to rather buy one of the Revell ones for $60-$70.
Yeah. Well, I'll wait to see your... I mean, I don't build 32nd scale aircraft. The issue for me is where I'm going to put it after I've built it.
Yeah, well,
If I ever-
I've got
if
it.
I
I'm
ever
starting
do
to
get
get
to
it.
it.
Actually, I've got 1, 2. This will be my third 32nd scale Spitfire I've got in the stash.
Wow.
I got the Tamiya Mark 8.
Yep.
I've got the Revell Iron Maiden Spitfire.
Oh, yes,
the Mark
yes,
II,
yes. Yeah.
and this will be the Mark 1 A late.
It'd be interesting exercise to build them all together side by side and just, compare the builds, wouldn't
Well, I
it?
know the Revell one's not going to be the quality one.
Well, you know what you're getting with that, let's face it.
Yeah, but that's going to be. I'm going to actually try and build it as the album cover, which means I'll have to totally redo the cockpit.
Yeah.
Because if you look at the album cover for Aces High from Iron Maiden, he's actually got like a P38 control column. He's got, rather than just having the spade grip, he's got like 2 separate handles.
Yeah.
And he's like right up against the gun sight, just glaring and blasting away with like bullet holes all through the windscreen and throughout the fuselage and wings. And it's
a pretty cool build, man.
it would be a cool build. And the plan was whether or not it comes to fruition, like, hey, maybe I might start it this year, maybe I might start in 10 years' time, because I want to copy the artwork.
Yeah.
So I've got I think it's a 72nd scale 109 to go with it, and 2 100 and 144 scale Spitfire Mark 1 and a 144 scale Messerschmitt 109E.
Okay.
So because there's 4 aircraft
Yeah, on the box art.
on the on the album cover.
Yeah.
And that way it's going to be like forced perspective.
Cool.
But that's the plan. Whether it ever happens, who knows?
That'd be awesome.
It could just be it's me just spending money on things I'll never do.
Let's have another short break and we'll be back to have a chat about shelf queens. Whether you build aircraft, armour, ships, science fiction, cars or figures, the Fine Scale Modeler magazine provides the how-to information you need to take your modelling to the next level. In each issue of Fine Scale Modeler, you'll find clear how-to features on model assembly and finishing written by experts, reviews of the hottest model kits and products, tips and techniques for assembling, painting and finishing, as well as inspiring photos of readers' models. To find out how you can get your copy of Fine Scale Modeler, go to www.finescale.com. Okay, shelf queens. What is a shelf queen? Well, a shelf queen by definition is something that you started and then put on your shelf and
Gathers
just
dust.
left it and it gathers dust.
Gathers dust, or put it back in the box. Yeah, we've all got those.
We do, and it's interesting, you know, people are disparaging, say, shelf queens, but I believe shelf queens play an important part in modelling.
Why is that?
Well, here's the thing, and I think anybody who's got a shelf queen is, by virtue, quite a good modeller, because they've reached a point when they're building the kit that A, they've either lost interest, or B, they've hit a part of the build or part of the paint process that is too complicated for them to progress any further. And hence, they sort of just pick it up and pack it away and put it away. Now, that's an intelligent modeller in my books. Somebody who reaches a point and says, I can't do this at this point, and I'll pack it away.
Yep.
And I've had a number of shelf queens where I've done that, and then, you know, months later after I've packed it away, I've seen somebody else either do a sim model or they've done a different model, but they've hit a similar sort of road bump in either construction or painting, and they've shown me how they've done it, and I've gone, the light bulb's gone off. That's what I can do to fix my kit, or that's what I can do to progress my kit.
Yes.
So having shelf queens is nothing to be embarrassed about, man. I think it's something to be celebrated.
Interesting take on it.
Well, how do you look at it?
Well,
what's your view?
With me, it's usually...
Well, let's ask the question. Do you have any shelf queens?
Well, I have had shelf queens throughout, and I probably do have the odd... Unfortunately, I end up forgetting half the stuff
I know some of the shelf queens you've got.
You do?
Yes, you've got this resin German twin-engine night fighter.
Actually, that's gone now.
What?
Yeah.
What do you mean it's gone?
I binned it.
Oh, my Lord, how much did you pay for that kit?
Oh, years ago, too much.
Too embarrassed to say publicly.
Too embarrassed to say how much it cost. It was a very expensive one, but...
okay.
Yeah, no, I got rid of that. That got binned.
You got any more?
Well, one shelf queen I had was the England.
The USS England destroyer, yes.
Yeah, the destroyer Escort.
Scale, yes.
Because that took me 2 years to build. Because I'd get to a point, because everything was so microscopic, and the original kit was crap. And I had to make so many changes and so many fixes to the kit that I got burnout. If you know what I mean? It got to the point where I just got to put this away, or I'm going to freaking smash it against the wall.
Yep.
And so I'll put it away and I'll do other projects, and then all of a sudden I go, I'll get back into it. And unfortunately, I don't know if anyone else has this problem, but I find getting back to a shelf queen can be really difficult, because with me, I start a project and I get passionate about it, and I start building and it's just it just rolls. And for me, usually I'll just get on the bench, put my podcast list on, just listen to all the latest podcasts that are coming out while I'm building, and then I usually start, I don't know, 8, 9 o'clock in the morning after I've had breakfast, and then just on a weekend just build and 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 build, and all of a sudden I'll go, geez, I'm hungry. And I look at the clock and it's like 7, 8 o'clock at night.
Yeah.
But because I'm so far in the zone. But then when you stop a project, you're basically just putting an axe through your the spirit of what you're doing.
Yeah.
And you're putting it away, and then to try and get back into that same frame of mind and to continually keep the ball rolling, I find very difficult.
No, I don't have that problem. What amazes me is how often I surprise myself when I decide to go back to a shelf queen, and I'll take it out and open it up. And
Look, 9 out of 10 times, yes, I will persevere. And what I'll do is I'll push myself, and then all of a sudden something clicks, and then I start getting back into that zone, and then keep the ball rolling and rolling and rolling and rolling. But I usually find that just to get back to where you were, I find for myself, you probably don't, a lot of others don't, but for me personally, I find it really difficult.
Well, here's the thing. The actual act of reaching up and grabbing a shelf queen and bringing it down and having a look is enough to get me rolling again.
Yep.
Just that actual act of doing that.
Because the England was one. I did an old dragon Stug. That was another shelf queen, or actually box queen. I call them box queens because they hardly ever sit on the shelf.
Yep.
They just go
But
back
we
in
did
the box.
same thing. Box queen, shelf queen.
Yeah.
Yep.
That I got back into, and I was really happy with the way that turned out. I ended up putting on a little base with a bit of a brick wall, a stone wall, and a lamp post, and a dog pissing against the post. And
That was a damn fine build, actually.
Actually, I was really happy with
That
that.
won an award.
Yes,
it did.
May have.
It did.
Yeah.
It got first place.
Did it? I don't
Yes,
think
it did.
Oh, okay. Obviously, you know better than me.
Yes, I will remember that got first place.
Oh, okay. But then again, I've got another kit that's been sitting there for, well over 10 years now, and that's the Dragon Isherman M51 Sherman,
Okay.
which I started, and I just couldn't get the front, because they got photo etched front guards on the Dragon
Right,
Sherman,
yeah.
and I just couldn't get them to sit properly to the curved portion of the front of the gearbox housing, because this photo etch is flat and it just didn't sit right, and it just drove me nuts. And I put it back, and it's been sitting there for 10 years. All it does is just gather. I've got figures for it. I've got a base planned out for it and everything. Golan Heights diorama with a couple of Israeli tankers on board. I've got a nice decal set for it. Hard to find decal set. Everything's there, but to try and just push myself into it. Then I've got me, what else is there? The Japanese destroyer, I can't remember the name of it, the Hasegawa one, 1350. I've gone great guns with. That's got the Infinity set with it. Like, we're talking big bucks here, and it's just sitting there in a box. I just got to get back into that zone to do it.
And how far advanced is it?
Oh,
How far along in the build are you with it?
not quite halfway.
Yep.
Look, most of the superstructures and everything done, but the thing is that isn't that I'm up to the point where I've got to start doing all the weaponry, the what are the rollers for the depth charges and all the little bits and pieces to do it. Yeah, but just to get back into it. Another one I started with this year, but I got sidetracked doing other projects. Has now gone back in the boxes. That lovely kit that Chris Meddings gave me, the French pre-World War One
Torpedo boat destroyer.
Yeah, which I really, really should push myself to get back into.
I want you to push yourself to get back into that as well.
It's a nice looking boat.
That's gorgeous.
It's a beautiful, and the paint scheme I've got planned for it's going to be quite startling. It's going to be white. I haven't done a white ship before for the French Pacific Fleet. Yeah, so, but then again, a few of my shelf queens have ended up, after a while, after many, many years, have just gone, no more, in the recycling bin.
Yeah. I must admit there are some that I've got that will never come down from the shelf, and indeed they'll probably end up in the well of tears, much like you've done with some of yours, because I know I'll never get the interest back to do them, or B, it was such a dog of a kit that I just couldn't be bothered to push through and fix it. And why should I? Because life's too darn short to be wasting your time on crappy kits.
Yeah, I know what you mean.
And,
yeah.
But what constantly amazes me with shelf queens is that when I actually reach into to grab them and open them up to have a look, I'm constantly amazed as to, geez, you did a good job up to this point. You know, you go, oh wow, that's not too bad
So
at all.
you stopped yourself before you made a hash of it.
Yes, and that's why I'm saying that modelers who do have shelf queens, because of that, are quite clever, and they shouldn't be disparaged or anything like that, or looked down upon because they've got so many. It's a sign of maturity, I think, that you go, okay, I will stop here before I push forward and make a mistake and then lose my bottle and then want to chuck the whole thing in a well of tears.
Yeah.
To me, it's, as I said, it's a sign of maturity, or understanding your limits up to that point in your skills mix. I mean, and here's another thing too. Shelf queens can also be because you haven't really decided on how you're going to finish it. You might just be building it just for the joy of building. And I have to say, I do enjoy building. That's one of the parts of the hobby that really, really interests me and gets me sort of my juices flowing.
Yeah.
Snipping
I used
it off
to now for
assembling.
me, my most favourite part of modelling is weathering.
Well, yeah. Well, okay. I think we've spoken about this in the past. For me, also, it depends on the kit because some kits can be dogs to build and you hate doing them. Other ones just fall together, and depending on the subject, it could be the weathering that excites me. It could be the painting that excites me. It could be putting the decals on that excites me.
Yep.
It just depends on the kit.
I'm not a fan of decaling. I try to avoid decaling at all costs. With me nowadays, with me decaling consists, the only decals I'll use are stencils. If I can't paint it,
Yeah.
or if I can't paint the national markings or something like that, it's only the small stenciling you can't reproduce.
Yeah.
Otherwise, I'd rather paint it.
So some people might be having shelf queens because they haven't decided on how they're going to finish it. And a very, very brilliant modeller who might have the name that sounds like Sam Dwyer, I know for a fact he's got quite a lot of shelf queens sitting in his stash because he's built them and hasn't got to the painting stage and sort of moved on to the next subject.
Yeah, yeah.
So it's, that's another reason also for a shelf queen.
Yeah, well, today I'm starting the armour models kit. I'm going to have a few shelf queens. They're going to be sitting there for the next month or so while I do this Mustang. And the worst thing is one of them's almost finished. It's a matter of doing a base for it. I've got that. I've got the French armoured roller, which is so close to being finished. Especially after I finished painting the figure for it last weekend.
Yeah.
My little French tanker. The only thing missing was a baguette.
What about a bottle of wine?
A bottle of vino, yeah, some cheese. I even went out and bought some barbed wire for the base, because they tested these things by seeing how well they could crush barbed wire fences. So I'm going to have all barbed wire entangled underneath it. Got me Predator figure. That's going to be put on hold now for a bit because I've got to scratch build that one tooth. And one kit which I decided I wasn't happy with the metal finish and started sanding it all the way back was me 48 scale Hasegawa Key 44 Tojo, which I've got everything for. It's at the painting stage, and all that's now going to be put aside. And then I got it and the worst thing is then getting back into. I think once I finish this armour hobbies, as Will calls it, the Armour Stang. Finished. Love that name.
Armour Stang.
Yep. Then I think the next project will be getting back into ripping off the shelf will be definitely the armoured roller because that's the closest to getting finished. After that, it'll be back to the Tojo. Get that knocked over when I'm and the good thing about this figure is I'm doing this figure while I'm letting paint dry.
Yeah.
So I can let something paint, because when I'm painting a kit, I usually let it sit for at least 2 days before I even think about going anywhere near the paint. I like to have it gas off properly.
Oh no, man! With lacquers, I'm right into it.
So I don't use lacquers.
No, lacquer straight into it again.
Yeah.
Yep.
But with me, I'm a Gunze man. I like me Gunze paints.
I've got to convert you to SMS lacquers and Tamiya lacquers.
Oh, I've got some SMS clears.
Yeah.
I still get some SMS paints for me XB coupe.
They just spray so well. And they dry so quickly. As I said, you can it really aids your because you're one like getting into the groove of things. You can just really groove on with these things. Yeah. You have to worry about gassing off or this sort of junk. Just go for it.
Because my modelling consists of a day and a half on a weekend. That's it.
Yeah.
So, which works well when I'm in painting stage because I'll just spend the day painting.
Yeah.
On a Sunday, and then I've got all week of not going anywhere near my bench. And then bang, I know the paint's nice and hard and touchable. So I can go on to the next stage. But with these shelf queens, the problem with shelf queens is they can clutter up your work area too.
Well, if you leave them on the bench, they can, yes.
No, I mean, even if you take them off the bench.
Yeah, you put them back in the box and you shove them back in your stash.
Yeah, But until you keep, like me, you keep buying kits and you're running out of freaking room all the time.
Well, it's a personal problem. I've got a number for a Padre for you to see about that. See, and not all shelf queens will become shelf queens. I mean, some of my alleged shelf queens will actually just become donor kits for something else.
Right.
You know, of something stuffed up that it's never going to be able to recover
Used
from.
as a paint mule.
Used as a paint mule, yeah, it's another one. You've got quite a few of them sitting around. Or just a donor kit for, you know, something else.
Yep.
So, it's... Yeah. I'd be really intrigued to hear from the listeners as to how they view shelf queens and as to what they do with them.
Yeah, definitely.
And, of course, you can write into us on the bench at gmail.com. No, I said that wrong. On the bench 64 at gmail.com. And let us know what you think about shelf queens and how you go about sort of getting over them or not. Or do you indeed actually even have shelf queens?
Yeah.
I mean, some people out there probably go, you know, I'll just bin it. Or they have the ability to work right through it. I mean, you know, it'd be interesting. What would be really interesting to hear is from those modelers who are sort of, you know, really top of the game, whether even they have shelf queens as well.
Oh, definitely. Most definitely do.
Because I consider myself an average modeler.
Oh, we both are, yeah.
Yeah, I'm just a hack.
Oh, I wouldn't say a hack.
and
we've got years under our belt, so we're not hacks, but we're not like the best modelers out there. Not by a long shot.
No, but just, you know, I this is why social media is really bad, because you look at it and you go, oh my God. It's like looking at being, you know, 56 and you look at a magazine for weightlifters and go, oh God. You know what I mean? You sort of go, oh.
No.
You don't? No. You don't get depressed looking at other people's sort of models?
No, not at all. For me, more the better the build, the more inspiration it gives you.
Yes, I do that, but also at the same time I go, oh my God, I mean, here's one for you. Ivan Jensen Taylor, he's been working on this little...
the MAK figure.
The MAK figure.
Yeah, the Machine Krieger.
And I'm looking at what he's done with those rust things, with the rust around it. I'm going, my God, how's he doing that?
Yeah.
And I go, oh, geez, I could never do that.
Oh, just practice.
I know, and yet I look at some of the kits that I have got rust on, and they go, actually, that's pretty darn good.
Yeah.
But it's, you know, when you first look at something like that, you go, oh, wow, it looks awesome. And you go, oh, my God, how do you do that? Oh, my God, there's no way I could do that. I go through these funny mental sort of steps.
Yeah.
And I don't know what it is, but it's, you know,
I'm
not worthy type thing.
No, it's not that you're not worthy. It's just, as I said, we just need more practice at certain things. And the more you do, the more you learn. And, you know, you learn by your mistakes. You speak to other people, you hear how they do it, or you see on YouTube how they do it, and you go, oh, I'll give that a go.
Yeah,
and you know the first time you try it, you're going to make a complete mess of it.
Well, that's why you have paint mules. You should be doing it on the paint mule first. And it's funny, I always say use your paint mules, but I'm the last person who usually reach for the paint mule.
I don't have one.
To test something.
I do not have it. I've never used a paint mule.
Haven't you really?
No.
I do have them. And I have used them, you know, now and again, but generally if I need
to do anything, I just use some scrap plastic card.
Okay.
Try it on that. It's best rather than have a big model kit taking up space, which I'm always restricted with space. Just a bit of plastic card or a bit of cardboard or something, you know, it's not like super absorbent to paint. Use paint on that.
Indeed. All right, so we would love to hear what you guys have to say or think about shelf queens, and I'm really keen to hear what you guys do about them, and whether you indeed think it's as beneficial as I do, which I do think it is. Please get in touch with us.
Yeah.
Well, it's funny how without Julian here waffling as much as he does, how much sort of time we've chewed through, and it's 'cause I'm looking at it. It's going to be an early show today.
Yeah, unfortunately.
Well, we hope Julian gets better quickly.
Yes,
and obviously he'll be hopefully back for our next show in a fortnight's time.
Yep, definitely.
Don't forget, guys, there's some other great podcast shows out there for you to listen to. Just go to www.modelpodcasts, and there's a whole listing there of all the other fantastic shows that are there for you to listen to, as well as some fantastic blogs as well. Well, that's it from me, Ian. Have you got anything to sort of finish off with?
Besides, see you later, everyone. I'm going to go start my Armistang.
Well, it's pouring with rain outside, so it's perfect sort of
Perfect
weather
day for it. Oh, that's right. I've got to go via somewhere and pick up my new paint shaker.
Oh, that's right. You bought a new paint shaker.
Yeah, I bought one of those little. I got it on eBay. It's sold as a tattoo ink shaker.
Right.
It's like a little round mushroom top sort of looking thing that looks like a rubbery base, rubbery top on it, and you press down on it, and it vibrates in a certain way that it creates a vortex inside the bottle. It was $35 from eBay. It was like, oh, well, I'll just grab one.
Yeah, I've got one of those cheap, nasty paint shakers, which is for nail polish.
Yes, yeah, on the big plate. Whereas
This
is like a little dome thing you can fit in the palm of your hand, which I thought would be better for me because I'm, as I keep saying, I'm restricted for space. So
I'm just going to see how that shakes the paint up.
I'm going to give it a go today.
Yeah, I'd be particularly interested. All right.
Groovy.
Give me a buzz and let me go. In the meantime, you have fun building your Musha Cup with Mr. Patterson today.
Yep, and Sam and
all the other
Malcolm
guys, all the other hangers on.
Yep.
Yeah, should be
whoever
fun.
else is going to join us.
And talk about actually putting it up on maybe a Facebook Live or something, because I'm sure that everybody be really keen to sort of watch that stuff.
Yeah, definitely. I'll have a chat with the guys.
All right, guys, we'll be back in a fortnight. In the meantime, have a great week.
Bye.